Hello, good evening. It's the evening of June 30th, and it's quite warm out here. My face looks all red, but I thought since I have an opportunity, I would make my July TBR video, and I have a lot in store for July, a lot of ambition. I don't know how it filled up so quickly, but it did. But let's see. So let me quickly tell you what I've got planned. I've got one thing that I'm really excited about that I'll get to in a minute. First of all, I plan to finish reading this book, John Adams by David McCullough, by July 4th, and I'm going to celebrate July 4th by putting up my review. And that's appropriate not only because he was a founding father, but because he actually died on July 4th. And I think his last words were, Jefferson still lives. He didn't realize that Jefferson also died on July 4th just before him, had already passed away on that same day. So anyway, so that's what I plan to do. That's going to be my patriotic endeavor for July 4th. And I only have that much left. The end of the book is a lot of acknowledgments and then a very detailed bibliography. So I think I can do that between now and July 4th. And I've been reading this with Alba at Seriella. I think she was a little bit intimidated when I told her I wanted to finish by July 4th. Sorry about that. But anyway, so that's the first order of business for July. The second thing, I have a lot of ongoing things. So I started to read this because the Word on Fire Institute, oh boy, my battery's low, so I better talk really fast. Maybe I won't do this. Well, we'll see how long it lasts. Anyway, this is Confessions. I was going to read it for the Word on Fire Institute Book Club, which is starting up in July. And we're supposed to read the book in June and then discuss it in July. I only got through book 1 because what happened was I reconnected with an old friend. Actually, she contacted me. She used to live in this area, and our sons were really good friends. And then she moved kind of 50 minutes away, and we just never really, we didn't see each other that much anymore. And then she moved back up to New Jersey, where she is now. And she would come down frequently, and we would bump into each other sometimes and have lunch or something. But that hasn't happened for a couple of years now, at least 3 years, something like that. But anyway, so I really want to buddy read this with her. So I'm waiting for her to be available. She's got things she's got to get done before she can settle into it. So I'm just going to wait for her. I did get through book 1, which wasn't that much to get through. I have read this before too, so I'm rereading it, and I got my pencil in it. I've been underlining and making notes. So I'm looking forward to reading this. I don't know if it'll get done in July or not. It's sort of to be determined. But that's fine. I'm going to be very relaxed about that. The other thing is in July, maybe not July 4th, not this Saturday, maybe not the last Saturday either, because I think I'll be at the beach. But I'm going to, periodically on Saturdays, I'm going to work through this book as well, brush up your Shakespeare. And then I've already started a couple of things on my Kindle. I started, because I have to have a Kindle read at night, and I started reading The Marble Fawn by Nathaniel Hawthorne, and I think it's, I got it downloaded for free in 2 volumes, volume 1 and volume 2, so I don't know if I'm going to try to read volume 1 in August and save volume 2 in July, and save volume 2 for August, or if I'm going to try to read the whole thing, I'm just going to play it by ear. But I'm trying to read all of Nathaniel Hawthorne's works. So I think this is the last major work that he published. So I started that, and it's really interesting. And it's really, as I mentioned before when I did my review of Louisa May Alcott's book, it kind of dovetails nicely with her because, they were neighbors and they were friends. And there's a lot of, it's like looking at that whole era and style and that transcendentalism and that literary crowd, but another facet of it. Hawthorne is another facet of that same thing. So it kind of really dovetails well with a year with Louisa May, or Louisa May 2020, that reading challenge to read some Hawthorne too. It gives it a different perspective, I think. So I'm going to be reading the Marble Fawn, either just the first volume or maybe both, but also at the end of the month, the book for the Louisa May Alcott reading challenge for the month of July is, I said the name wrong, but it's Work. Can you see that? Work. A Story of Experience. So I'm going to read that probably at the end of the month. I'll be reading that. And also at the end of the month, maybe when I go to the beach, I'm going to try to read Swallowdale, which is the next book in the Swallows and Amazons series by Arthur Ransom. So I'm looking forward to that. That's at the end of the month. And then there is something called the Jane Austen July Challenge, and I'll try to link to the people who started that. I'm not sure who. I heard about it from, oh my gosh, I can't remember. I've seen a couple of videos now of people who are going to do the Jane Austen July Challenge, but I can't remember who I saw. I'm not going to do all the prompts because I don't think I'll have time, but you're supposed to read one of her 6 major novels, and I'm going to read Persuasion, which is my favorite. So I've already started on that. I love this edition with the ribbon in it. It's a really nice edition. And then you're supposed to read one of her minor works, and I have had this beautiful edition on my shelf for years. My husband gave it to me as a gift years ago. I'm pretty sure he gave it to me, or someone else did, and it was a gift. And it's a compilation of all sorts of her minor works. Here's Love and Friendship, a collection of her letters. So I'm just Sanditon. So I'm just gonna, this has been sitting on my shelf, and I'm just gonna dip into this and read some of her minor works from this. And then another one of the prompts, I'm actually combining 2 of the prompts. One was to read a contemporary of Jane Austen, and the other was to read either a biography or a book about her time. And so I Googled who were contemporary authors to Jane Austen, and one of them that I saw listed in an article, or whatever, giving a list of authors, was The Life of Olaudah Equiano. So this is a collection of 4 different slave narratives, but I'm interested in the first one. It was published in 1792. So I'm really interested in reading that. So I'm going to combine 2 of the prompts and just say, he was a contemporary of Jane Austen, and he also wrote about what was going on in her lifetime, but officially, or, not officially, what's the word I want, specifically the slave trade and how slaves were being treated at that time. And I thought that was an appropriate thing to read. So I'm really interested in that. In fact, I just started reading it tonight. So I've sort of dipped into all these books already. And then the last thing that I want to talk about, and this is really Christian content, but I've been on the outskirts of a group, but not really deeply involved, but just watching this group called the AND Campaign. And it's mostly out of the African American Baptist Church. But I followed this guy on Facebook, Justin Giboney, and he would do these civic updates. And his whole thing is about Christians applying biblical values to political engagement or civic engagement. And he's got a wonderful way of thinking that just sort of, gets away from the partisanship and the, thinking through the lens of either party. It's really thoughtful, really profound. And he and 2 other guys wrote a book. And the book is coming out officially July 21st. But I got in with a group that's pre-reading it before it goes out. And I'm in this discussion group now on Facebook. I just started. I'm so excited. It's such an inspirational book. So after I read it, I'm going to review it here. And then I'm hoping that if there are any Christians out there who are really interested in this, that we can get on Voxer and read it together and discuss it, because I think it will be a balm to our souls as this upcoming election happens. I think it's a really, really good book, and it really puts a different spin on things. And I really admire the three men who wrote it. The name of the book is Compassion and Conviction: The AND Campaign's Guide to Faithful Civic Engagement. I think that's the whole title. And it's by Justin Giboney, Michael Ware, and Chris Murphy. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm going to talk about that more later. I'm going to make a whole different video about that. So I'm just putting out the notice right now because that's something I'm reading right now in July. So I think I covered everything really quickly. I'm trying to fight the fading light here. The sun's going down. It's now high summer. It's just hot, muggy, and buggy here. So I hope you're enjoying your summer and, with all the craziness that's going on in the world. And I hope you have a great reading month in July. And I guess I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.